We're looking at the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Bizarro. This Bizarro comes in a nice big window box style packaging. You can see everything inside the box. There's a figure stand inside the box, 2 alternate hands, a bio card or something on the back. This will be the first DC Multiverse from McFarlane Toys I've looked at. I haven't really picked up any of these because I don't much care for 7-inch scale figures as much. The only 7-inch scale line I've ever collected was Mattel's Master Universe Classics line of figures. So this will be my first look at a McFarlane Toys 7-inch scale figure. On the back of the box, it actually shows a picture of a different look for Bizarro. This is in the Reborn outfit, Superman Reborn. This is the Rebirth outfit. So I don't know why they'd be showing a picture of the wrong costume on the box. But there's pictures on the bottom of other figures in this wave. Instead of actual figures, they actually use just the artwork depicting the characters. Who knows if this artwork will match up with the figures? I don't know, since this is the first one I'm looking at, and so far, it doesn't. On the box, you got your legalese, barcodes. McFarlane Toys on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Top the box is nice big openings that allows a lot of light into the packaging so you can see the figure clearly. I like when companies do this, especially if I'm not one, but if other people, it's like mint and box collectors. It allows a lot of light into the side of the packaging so you can see the figure clearly. Here we see Bizarro on the plastic tray. See, the only accessories in the tray are the figure itself and the 2 alternate hands. The other accessories, the figure stand and the card, are sealed onto the backboard. The backing of the box kind of makes it really inconvenient if you like to put your stuff back in the packaging. So once you peel this off, you're going to run the backing. I'll go ahead and do this because I'm not a mint and box collector. As you can see, once you pull that out, the backing is pretty well ruined. The cards are printed really nice glossy stock. A little bio on the back. As you can see with this version of Bizarro, he is a clone of Superman, imperfect clone. Here we have Bizarro free from the plastic tray. Outside the packaging, he looks really good. The sculpt looks really nice. There's some odd things about the articulation, but it's there. But some of the choices they made were kind of odd. The pins are quite huge on these figures. I'm used to Marvel Legends, and the pins you have the larger diameter in the inside and the smaller on the outside to make the figure look better. And a lot of their figures are going to the pinless style. So these giant pins are a little jarring to look at, especially on the legs. Some of the bigger Build-A-Figures don't have pins this big on the Hasbro figures. I do like this costume. I like the Rebirth costume for Superman. Makes me wish McFarlane would do a Rebirth of Superman on this body, because this looks good. I'm pretty well pleased with this right now. I like to have the regular colors for Superman with the more blue. This color blue on this body, I think would look really good. With these McFarlane figures, these Superman logos are a separate piece. You can actually heat and pry these out. Same with the neck pieces, that's a separate piece. So they can actually swap out parts with one of their previous Superman figures, different color scheme, and give us a proper Rebirth Superman. I also would like to see them do a Reborn Superman costume. That's actually depicted on the box with the Bizarro in the Reborn costume. And let's take a quick look at accessories. He doesn't have many. He's got two alternate hands. He's got open style pose hands for each side. Gnarled looking grippy style poses. You can see dead sculpt that's a little soft, but you can see the fingernail detail on the hands. And of course the figure stand, let's see how well it works. And it fits and works pretty good. Sliding around. Play air hockey with your figures, with your figure stands. For sculpt, I really like the head sculpt. It really captures the look. Bizarro this time, this is basically the look he had with the Red Hood and the Outlaws comic. I like the little bit of a hair flip on the front. Doesn't have much hair, it's just on the top of the head. Kind of reminiscent of like some of the looks for the Hulk. I like all the wrinkles in the body, the simulate cloth over top of a actual physical body. Got wrinkles down on the ab section, down the waist. You lose it with the legs. These legs look like more like a armored look, so it doesn't have the cloth appearance up top. The boots look like a standard Superman style boot, but with the lower part of the boot is just being blue, and just the cuff of the boot painted red. You see the cuffs around the wrist. It would have been nice if they painted the fingernails, add a little extra detail in that, make them stand out a little bit more. The cape is really nice. It's got a nice texture to it. Got the sculpted holes damage on the cape. This looks really nice, and it's a very soft, pliable material. And it doesn't feel like it's too heavy to weigh the figure down, so he stands pretty easily. As for articulation on the figure, it's pretty articulated. He's got a double ball peg on the neck, and works so much better than Hasbro's double ball pegs. So you can look down, you can actually look up. Full 360. He's got plenty of tilt. A lot of the Hasbro double ball pegs, when they do this style ball joint, they cannot look up. They can basically just look forward. This looks up great. You have butterfly joints on the chest. You get a little bit of forward and back. Disc hinge shoulders. Kick up to here. Bicep swivel. Double joint elbows. Fold up really nice. The only thing I noticed about the double joint elbows, you can see there's a little notch here. The arm is meant to rest in a curved position. When you put it forward, you get a little ugly break right here. The wrists are actually on almost like an import style joint. You get like a Robotech style joint, or on SH Figure Art figures, where it's a ball peg on each side. You see there's a ball peg here, stem. That should be the same up here. So depending on the rotation axis you put your hand on, the wrist can move any direction you want. In and out, up and down. So it works really great, especially when it's hidden like this, and and it actually moves really well with the hand, so you can actually bend the wrist and rotate it on the joint itself. A lot of these style joints is a pain in the butt to line the orientation that you want for this, but this works great. There's an upper diaphragm joint. Doesn't really crunch forward any, but it moves back really well. So you can get like a nice flat pose for Bizarro. It does rotate on that diaphragm joint. He also has a ball peg down at the base of the torso, and that moves back, forward, side to side, and rotates. The hips are universal style joints. Then kick forward, back, and out to the side. The waist is actually covered with a rubber overlay. So I'm assuming if you remove the rubber overlay, it's going to look unsightly with the design of the joints. But no, like anybody would want to do that, but I would assume that's what is up behind there. Double joint knees. Kicks up really well. The only thing, like I mentioned before, those are some monster pins. You don't have to worry about the breaking these pins on these figures. These pins are the size what you would think for like a huge, like a Build-A-Figure or something. Those are monsters. There's no boot cut swivel. The ankles are the same as the wrist. You got those import style joints. You got depending on the orientation of the alignment with the foot, you get vertical hinge, and there's rotation there, and you can line it up right. You can get your ankle pivots. You got toe joints. I kind of wish they would put kind of a limit on those toe joints, because you don't need the joint to go that far. Stub your toe in the middle of the night, and it feels like it goes that way. Like I mentioned, I don't really collect too many 7-inch scale lines. I mainly bought this figure to set up a Red Hood in the Outlaws display. In that comic series, Bizarro was depicted as quite a large character. He is an imperfect clone of Superman, so he's not an exact clone, so he's going to be disfigured. And in that series, he was bigger and buffer. So I was thinking that he could actually look good displayed with the older Mattel figures. And speaking of, let's go ahead to bring in the Red Hood. And Starfire, which was also on that part of that team. I think this works great scale-wise. But I do need to, when I was looking at this figure, I need some new feet for Starfire. These are horrible. She's got cankles and feet that are incredibly too small for this figure. Should be, with all my fodder, I should be able to find a set of feet to give her a decent set of feet. Imagine that purple might be the tough part, though. I think this is going to look good for a Red Hood and Outlaws display. He's got the right size, bulk for Bizarro from that comic book series. Let's go ahead and look at Bizarro next to some other figures. Here he is next to Mattel's DC Multiverse Rebirth Superman and the DC Universe Classic Superman. Here he is next to Mattel DC Multiverse Superman Doomed and a Marvel Legends Bucky Cap. Here he is next to Marvel Legends Captain America and 80th Anniversary Iron Man. With this being my first McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse figure, I was quite happy with it. I have a few issues with it, little nitpicks with the shape of the actual joints itself, where you get this weird cut in the double joint, where the natural position had the arm curved instead of straight. These pins are, like I said, are quite huge. You don't have to worry about them breaking because they are monster-sized pins. Most Marvel Legends Build-A-Figures don't have pins that diameter. They are quite robust. But with the sculpt, the shape, the silhouette is nice. The cape material is a soft, pliable material, and I like the texture. I would love to see capes done. If you're going to continue doing rubber-style capes, like with Marvel Legends, they need to do this style cape. This is nice. It's soft. It looks like fabric, and the sculpt is sculpted to be flowing really well. I would love to see them do a Superman Rebirth on this body. Change the color scheme up to be Superman's standard colors, where he's a little brighter blue. So we have yet to get a really good Rebirth Superman. Also like a Reborn Superman. I love the Reborn Superman costume. He was a short-lived costume before Action Comics 1000, and then he went back to the traditional red trunks, old-school costume. But so far, I really like this. And you can actually display this with your Marvel Legends, because in the comics, this Bizarro was bigger, buffer, so scale-wise, he actually fits in. This figure is a recommend for me. I liked it, and I didn't know if I was going to like it or not, because what I've been seeing in the packaging, I haven't liked. But if he does more stuff like this, I can see myself picking up more McFarlane figures. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch y'all later.